they had to slap a 2 on it and pretend it's a brand new game. Like, because it's not a brand new game really, because it's like the only thing that's going to be new in Overwatch 2 is campaigns, but all the characters that are in Overwatch 2, you can still play if you have Overwatch 1. So it's like that just goes to show you the type of wave that their new handlers are on. It's like
a chronological sequel. Like there's a story, and that's like the story of Overwatch resolves.
Rukai says, "Yeah, I was going to say,
which one?
Yeah, that's all I was going to try to get to. Rukai, yeah, I was trying to get to the comments.
You don't know me."
So yeah, that's sadly where they're going. Just like,
Two Beers, can I say one thing to what you just said with Overwatch? It makes perfect sense. Keep in mind, this is the same Activision that was selling you Destiny 2 and then give you pieces of the fucking story for $30 fucking as DLC patches and then lock you out of certain parts of the game because you had to buy the fucking DLC. Yes. So let's continue. Let's continue.
It's not like that.
How is it not like that when you're paying fucking $30 for the fucking campaign, which was not included in the first one? How is it not like that? Welcome everybody to another episode of Shoot the Shit Podcast. I am your host Khan, as always, and we are back for episode number 8. And with me, as always, my co-host, Mr. Two Beers. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's going on, man? How y'all doing, people?
I hope they're doing well. And like we like to always do, every once in a while, we like to shake things up because I know you get tired of hearing me and Two Beers' voices all the time. We'd like to bring in a guest, and we have our guest for today, Mr. GXDrifter. What's up, sir?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Not too bad, man. Too bad.
Can't complain.
Exactly. So we got a lot of stuff to discuss, but I think I know people are past it, but we never got our little, our due in. So real quick, Kobe Bryant unfortunately passed away Sunday. Sad to see him and 8 other people, lose their lives in a helicopter crash. So we'll take this one moment to allow everybody to say whatever they want to say, how they feel, get it off their chests about Kobe's unfortunate early death. I'll start with you, Two Beers. Go ahead. Anything you want to say or any remembrance, any words?
No, just rest in power. It's a very messed up situation, especially for everybody who was on there. It sucks, but much love out to his family, and hopefully they can get through this tough situation that they're currently in.
Okay. All right. GXDrifter?
I don't want to hear anything more about that. Like, it was the most horrifying thing I've heard all year, probably, because of the daughter and such.
Yeah, you're coming in a little short. I don't know what it's like. We have a guest and they have technical difficulty, but this is fine. It's fine because when we don't have a guest, it's usually Two Beers. So go ahead, GX.
All right, I'll take some of the weight of your technical difficulties off of you. That's cool. Yeah. What I do want to say though is Kobe Bryant was an amazing basketball player. Like, a lot of times somebody dies and people are like, oh man, we're going to miss him. He was so great. Or, she brought us all this stuff that we didn't talk about until now. We never thought about that stuff. But Kobe was fucking awesome at basketball.
Yeah.
He was really, really good.
Yeah.
I agree.
The best game I ever saw, he was playing up against James and the Cavs, I think. Maybe the Heat, whatever. But the two of them were just going berserk. I think they each scored like 80 points that game. Just an unbelievable show of basketball offense. And I thought, yeah, Hall of Fame, done.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got to say about that.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks, man. That was good. And I'm going to probably run with the same sentiments as Two Beards, and almost same sentiments as UGX. It's like it's past. I kind of didn't want to really discuss it, but I figured, hey, let's at least address it once. You know, in this program, we've talked about a lot of people passing. I think the last time we did a P3 podcast was when the guy out of LA passed away, the rapper entrepreneur.
Oh, Nipsey.
Yeah, that was the last time. But not to take away from Kobe, as GXDrifter stated, he was an amazing basketball player. And during these times, let's not try to bring out the alleged and other stuff that a guy might did. Let's just, remember him for what he was famous for, what he did that helped, the people of this world to move on and get some kind of enjoyment. And let's, as Subir said, let's hope that his family, can move on and the pain can, subside quicker, because death is very powerful, especially when you lose not one but two people in your family.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put away the soft, the sadness real quick, and let's get into some topics. And this is we'll start with the first one. This is a topic that's all too familiar on this podcast, and that's the Xbox, because we got the cheerleader over here, Mr. Two Beards for Microsoft, always kowtowing every time, and they could do no wrong. So let's talk. That is exactly what it is. So let's talk about. We talked last week about the Xbox and basically what they could do and whether or not exclusives was going to hurt them or if it was going to help them. But recently, rumors have been coming out that the stats for the Xbox and PS5 that came out, and basically the CPU is the same for both, but the GPU is better on the Xbox, but RAM and then the SSD is a lot quicker on the PlayStation 5, which a lot of people are giving information and their input thinking that, the PS5 is going to kill it in terms of performance. I'll start off with you, GXDrifter, before we get to the Xbox fanboy. What do you think about this?
I think that both of them seem very powerful. I don't know what that power would be for. Like, we've had these conversations before. Like, the Xbox One, I think, is as powerful as a video game system needs to be. You want to tack on another $200 to it to make it more advanced for televisions, I guess. The PlayStation, though, I think is going to come through and take the championship of that generation just because Sony knows how to do it right. Like, they what I heard about the solid state drives is that they're going to make it so that you can download parts of games and play them while the rest is downloading. Kind of like on PCs when they have like you're still loading but you're ready to play. No, you can choose. So
They're
like you can just do the multiplayer.
They're also supposed to be doing split downloads. Yeah, but I mean to cut you off, but one of the things that Crackdown 3 did was it made the multiplayer and the main campaign two separate downloads. You could actually delete the multiplayer if you wanted to, and you still have the campaign. So, like that.
Sir, why? I understand you're a fanboy, but why would you even bring Crackdown 3 onto this stream? Why would you even use that as an example? Why would you use that as an example, sir? Why?
Because
it hurts so bad.
Hey, the example worked. We don't have to talk about the game.
Good point, but my God. Go ahead, Two Bears. Go ahead. What's your input on this? For those in stream, I do have up basically from the BGR article the information.
Since I will be devil's advocate or defending Xbox's honor in this particular discussion, I think you should go and I'll go last.
Really? Okay, sure. Wow.
All right, he's going to drop the mic on you, though.
No, he's not going to drop the mic. Point of matter is this. It doesn't matter if the PS5 was slower. We all know that Sony's going to most likely rule this generation because most people favor Sony over Microsoft. when it comes to choosing their system. So the stats are interesting, but once again, these are all rumors. It's all going to be dependent on how people, use those different things. A bigger GPU is good. Sony's always in favor. So when you look at wait. No. It doesn't mean about better. It just means they're in favor by audience. So it isn't a matter of whether or not it's better. The audience, there's a bias between gamers for what systems they support. Europe is a Sony market, Japan is a Sony market, and for the most part, most of the US is a Sony market. All the other countries, you could throw them in the hat as to what they support. But, I mean, you got the 3 largest markets, they already support Sony, so therefore, whether they're good or not, they're still going to be,
But, like, they support
favorite.
them because they're good.
Gaming is gaming. I don't look when I play games. I don't care if it's on the Sony, if it's on the PC, or it's Xbox. I just play games. I don't care about platforms and systems. That's just the name.
Right, but there's games on the Sony consoles that aren't on other platforms that are great, right?
Sure, I'm sure they are. I haven't played them, but I'm sure they are.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I hear God War is amazing. I'm sure it is, but I've never played it on the PlayStation 4. I have a PlayStation 4. It collects a lot of dust, but yeah.
Oh, you should play God of War.
Yeah, one of these days.
Okay.
One of these days.
But
No, it's on the list. It's one of these days. I still pay for the PlayStation Now or Plus or whatever the subscription is. So whatever comes into it, like I got, I forget one of the games that came up free. I think the last game I played on the PlayStation was the Sony Spider-Man game. That was the last one I played. And that was really good. That was really, really good. So go ahead, Two Beards.
Oh, well, I thought you were gonna go in about the whole spec thing, and I was about to.
I did go into spec thing. It's all rumors. We don't know.
Yeah. So if you said that, I don't even have any. There's no need for me to actually debunk any of that.
This guy. So your comment was nothing, or it was in agreement with what I said.
Yeah, it was in agreement with what you said. Like but there's actually one of the things is with the one guy who dropped the rumors and and other people were saying the rumors. They're all basing it off of there was a leak prototype Xbox Series X floating out in the yonder, and inside of that Xbox Series X there was a budget Fission, if I'm saying it correctly, SSD controller, and so that's why a lot of people were saying that the SSD in the Xbox is going to be half the speed of the PS4, which is rumored to actually use the new Samsung SSD, which is on a 4.0 PCIe controller. But the thing is that it can't be a Fission because even in Microsoft's it can't be an existing Fission because even in Microsoft's own video, they basically said that they're making a custom SSD from the ground up. And they actually confirmed on one of the sites the company that they're getting their SSD from. So it's definitely not a Fission. So that whole SSD thing, even if it is faster, even if Sony still comes out being faster, that one's blown out of the water from that. But since we're not arguing the whole spec thing, I completely agree with you. Everything is for the most part rumors. I do think Sony will have the loyalty based advantage. I think slowly but surely, Xbox doing its customer first forward model is actually going to win over more and more people. It's already winning over people now. Oh, we're gonna be rude like that? Yeah. Is that how we're gonna do it? You want me to
I'm sitting here. You want me to you're entitled to your wrong opinions, but I ain't saying nothing.
You want me to
you can tell him that he's wrong.
Like fucking farting and burping when you talking and shit. But yeah, so it's like I think they're like stuff like Game Pass Ultimate, like all the other things that they're offering for customers. I think that's going to actually win them over. As far as the exclusives go, they currently have they bought 13 studios, so they now have 16. And these are good studios. They aren't like just not things that people have never heard of. So I'm expecting some big AAA titles coming on. I'm expecting some wide range of variety, and we'll see if those games actually match up to the type of games that Sony put out. Now, on the Sony end, even though they're going in with a whole lot of steam, there's been a few things that's been worrying to me when it comes to Sony, like the fact that they kicked Sean Layden to the curb, and then the American dude that they made the head of Sony now, and like he's running the business real weird, like when he made the claim that that they're not worried about indie developers at all. They only just want to see big AAA epic experiences, and like that's very very different from the earlier stances that the PS4 had and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it just makes me kind of like him saying that, and just the way that they're moving right now, and some of the choices that they're making, it's making me wonder if they're going to shoot themselves in the foot during their launch, if they're going to do the same thing Xbox One did, like coming off a little bit anti-consumer and stuff like that. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
Like a fucking search, and I have to say shit. All right.
Wow. Well, I'll give you a chance to say shit as you stated before. So no, that brings us to our second topic real quick, which you did kind of allude to. So we wanted to talk about Microsoft. So Microsoft gave their quarterly report, and the one and only weak point, as we'll show in the stream right now, is the Xbox division, where they were profitable in pretty much everything Microsoft, but the Xbox. And this is an article by Engadget. A lot of them are attributing maybe it to the new consoles coming out, different things as that. As Two Beers alluded, and outside of this article, that Game Pass had its best, quarter where they basically doubled their audience and so forth. So what's everybody's thoughts on the Xbox division basically being the one loss for Microsoft this actual quarter? And I'll start with you, 2 years.
This sexual quarter?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, like I said before, it's basically a new console year, so you're gonna expect that their sales are actually gonna drop down. Like that's gonna basically hit, the sales are gonna slow on the current generation when it's a new console year. That's just how it goes. Like the only one that's actually doing great sales right now, because of course it's gonna do great sales right now, is the Switch. Yeah, this is no surprise to me. But like I said before, I don't think Microsoft is worried about console sales at all. I also feel that that's why with that whole customer forward thing that you yawned at, that's why I feel that that's the reason why when the next generation, when the Series X drops this year, that's the reason why it's going to be a cross-generational system for 1 to 2 years. They don't care about how many sales that the system actually sells. It's more about how many people they get onto Game Pass and stuff like that, and actually trying to get more of their claws into the PC market in other areas.
Okay, go ahead. GXDrifter, any comments?
Yes, of course. So I feel like Microsoft never really, since the original Xbox, they never really got the grounding that they wanted to on the Xbox. And as far as I recall, they've never really done well, even though the systems were solid. Like the 360 was a good system.
Yeah, that beat the PS3.
Good exclusives. Yeah. I think I read that it did at first and then slowed down. Like the console race where they match up times, like this year, it's gonna be both of them are gonna pretty much launch at the same time, probably, right? That used to never happen. Remember? It the death of the NES into the birth of the Genesis, the death of the Genesis into the birth of the Super Nintendo, like that. We would have alternating years, but now they're coming out so close together. I don't ever see the race as being about bigger fan bases. I think at the end of the day, the systems with the best games are going to do the best.
Yeah.
And
But
if that,
But
But no-
sometimes if a, okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, but as argued beforehand, you say the system with the best games, but the best games is a matter of opinion. If somebody only wants to play Magic the Gathering, they're not going to care about God of War. If somebody wants to play Madden and Call of Duty, they don't care about all the other games. They're not interested.
yes.
So
Listen,
it's all it's all opinion. You know, you say the best games, but that's the opinion of the person or the fanboy of that system. You know,
until
it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
Until you define best. If best means something, then you can compare things according to what best means, like what we all agree on.
I mean, you can. That's true. But the point is, you're saying it has the best games. If you want, that doesn't mean that Joe Bob is going to go buy a Sony game if none of those games interest him. You can say, I have all the best games. It's about whether the system has games that the user wants to play. It doesn't have to do anything about best. It's an opinion.
Well, how about this? Do you have Xbox One?
Yeah, I have all systems except for the Switch.
I feel like that's most of the people. And why don't you have a Switch?
Because I bought a Wii and I'm good on Nintendo systems after that.
I feel like you make a lot of opinions about games before you play those games.
No, I had no interest in those games, so therefore I'm not going to invest my money into those systems in those games.
You're missing out on the Wii.
Okay, so why do you have...
I'm missing out on the Wii. The Wii is dead, sir.
Sorry, you're missing out on the Switch.
Thank you.
Wii is not dead. It's still selling games. Games just came out for the Wii. But yeah, anyways. Okay, so let's set the Nintendo aside. Just for the record, Economaniacs out there, fans, I'm the Nintendo guy.
Economy.
All right. So that's what they call them, right?
Yeah, that sounds
Kanye's.
Economaniac. We'll stick with that.
So, setting Nintendo aside, just between the PlayStation and the Xboxes, I think most will have both.
Nah, usually most people would be PC and they'll get a Sony as an alternate. As I could look for it, but that was the specific thing when they were looking at.
I can't believe that.
It is
Oh, you
true.
mean right now? There's 106. I think 106 million PlayStation 4 owners, and there's like the last time Xbox released their numbers, it was 50 million Xbox owners, but they haven't released anything, and that was like.
I believe PlayStation's at 1 billion now.
Well, yeah, PlayStation 4 is a monster worldwide, but I'm just talking about like in America. Xbox Ones are dirt cheap. PlayStation 4s are dirt cheap. Who doesn't have an Xbox One with their PlayStation? Message me, I'll send you one.
I know a lot of people. One of our fans of the show, DW Mage, only has a PlayStation 4. He doesn't have an Xbox. In fact, he transitioned from Xbox to PlayStation this generation. So, and he's a PC. And he has a PC. Then also Dame Falcon, another streamer I talked to, she has PC, PlayStation, and Switch, and not an Xbox. There's a lot of people who do not have Xbox. Vincent Vega, another streamer, has PC, PlayStation, and no Xbox. BroBQ has PC, PlayStation, Switch, and sold his Xbox. And then also Angry Pug, another streamer, is PC, PlayStation, and Switch. So a lot of people have all systems but Xbox. At least from people I interact with and I notice. So continue.
That makes sense because of how similar Xbox architecture is to Windows PC. Like when you said that about most people having PC for gaming, I'm over here thinking about Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff. But mostly people are playing, what's the name of that game where it's real cartoony, but also it's like PUBG.
Fortnite.
Yeah, that and League of Legends and stuff like that. That's like, those are the most popular games. And of course, you'd be playing those on your PCs. Why would you have an Xbox One? Two beards.
Why would I have an Xbox One?
Why would a person have an Xbox One over PC?
Well, I do actually like let's see. At the time when I bought my Xbox One, which was 3 years into the console system of the life, I was supposed to buy a PS4 as well. I would have had both systems, but job things happened. But the initial reason I picked up an Xbox One is because my friends at the time, that is the system that they had, and I wanted to play on the system that they were playing on.
Hey, that's why I got an Xbox One.
But I still wanted, but I still had planned on getting a PS4 anyway at that time. I actually still enjoy my Xbox One. I think Game Pass Ultimate is an incredible deal, but I do feel you and Khan on the whole PC thing. Mike Ybarra, who was like a former, I forgot what his position was when he was at Xbox. Even he said he was like he had got to work on the Series X before he departed Xbox, and he was talking about how much of a beast of a console it is. But he said that when the next consoles come out, he's going to get a PS5 and he'll just play all his Xbox games on PC. So that's the way a lot of people feel about it.
Yeah, it brings up a point that I brought up before, which is incentives. And I bring this up a lot of times with Microsoft. Microsoft gives no incentive for anybody to buy their system. And I know you keep saying Game Pass, but hardware is very important. It may not be important in the cloud era, but it's still very important. We're not in the cloud era yet.
Yeah, I still don't think it's that important. Like I feel like, and even like I said before, it's normally the first 2 years of the console period that the console makers actually lose money on that console. It's like they don't really start making money normally until the third year of
that's fine.
Sales.
But if you're Microsoft, if you want to make a game, if you want third-party people to support your game, how are they going to support it if you have no hardware sale?
They're going to support it because you're available on PC. You are.
Then I just might as well make a PC game and put it on Steam and just bypass Microsoft. You're missing the point.
No, you're not letting me finish.
Continue.
So like besides having the PC market and even though you're saying the whole Steam thing, like besides having the PC market, but part of the whole play your games anywhere, the Series X for those who want the power of a $1,200 gaming computer for $500 because it's going to be a cross-generational system. The already implanted base of console owners who own anything from the Xbox One up to an Xbox One X. So it's like they only have to make, like unlike previous systems where like for the first 2 years, developers are making a game for the old generation and they're making a game for the new generation. They only have to make one game for the Xbox Series. Like that cuts their development costs down. So it's like and it gives them the base of whoever's going to buy the Xbox. It's going to give them a base of whoever buys it's going to give them the base of whoever already has an Xbox One up to an Xbox One X. If xCloud is up and running by that time, it gives them xCloud as an option also. And also like the same game that they made on this, all of it is on 86X architecture. So they don't really have to do much. They don't really have to do anything different for the PC anyway. So it's like it's a no-brainer.
I hear what you're saying, but there's also points that show otherwise. Like for instance, and I'll move over. When Phoenix Point was supposed to come out on both the Xbox Microsoft Store for Windows and on Xbox, it was delayed because of issues and inexperience with the Game Pass, as they state, the Game Pass and Microsoft Store. We were simply not properly prepared for the groundwork to get the game released on time on these platforms compared to the other platforms where these platforms require a number of prerequisites from Microsoft certifications and legal documentation review. While these are now mostly complete, they have given rise to a number of new delays. So there's a lot more stuff that you got to go through that delay stuff. You think that all do you think all developers are going to want to have to sit there and go, oh yeah, we got to make this for this as opposed to, oh, I could just make a PS5 game and be good with it?
Yeah, because it's an extra base, it's extra money. And it's like I said before, you're not making multiple games, you're making one game. And then on top of that, you as a gamer should be happy for all those extra certifications so you don't get a buggy ass game that runs like shit when it gets put on the system.
I would rather have a game that's made for that system that works properly.
Something that actually boots the fuck up when you actually turn the power on. That's something that you as a gamer should be happy about.
And secondly, Gigantic, a game that was under Microsoft, had issues. Why? Because they had to move it and make it synced between Windows and Xbox. There's a lot of other developers that are talking about issues with this, having to sync things between two systems and so forth. You say that it's a lot easier, but from a lot of these developers, they're stating that this is an issue.
Y'all be getting heated in here.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But if you want to go and say, hey, Sony, who has, let's say at that time, 30 million systems out, and you got Microsoft, who has 1 million systems out, you got Switch that has however many they have out. They probably are on their second system that probably is already 3 times, 4 times outsold the Microsoft system, and you got PC with a numerous number of systems. Why would I want to make games on Microsoft? I would rather just deliver and put it on Steam. I don't see the incentive from a Microsoft standpoint to put games onto their stuff when after 2 years, people aren't buying their hardware because they already have a PlayStation 5 or a PC. Or they already have Stadia and Cloud's done kicked off and they're already doing this stuff. I don't see the purpose of a incentive for Microsoft. They're way behind, and 2 years later going into it because they're still looking at games from last year. From last generation, rather.
It's the same way, like as I was telling you before. Like, there's a reason why they keep putting in the marketing family of consoles. So it's the same way as in like if all of us went out and we all bought like PCs or laptops or whatever like that. I'm gonna buy something that's in my budget. You're probably going to get the high end model. GXDrifter is probably going to get a mid tier to high end model. But the thing is, we still can all play the we can still all play the same game.
I want to say something about it.
Go ahead, GX.
I got my Xbox. It hadn't been out that long. And I'm not an Xbox guy. Like, their console exclusives never really spoke to me. I played a lot of Gears of War at Two Beards', and that was cool. When I got a 360 myself, didn't like it. Wasn't cool. But the Xbox One, I still am not crazy about their exclusives. Crackdown 3 is an abomination unto God.
Thank you.
But the console has served me well. Like, it's really good. The whole push to make it like a multimedia device that you can like stream with from button press, and it's got the tacked on camera thing and all this. Like, it's a great multimedia device. And maybe that'll be a selling, because I never even upgraded to the Xbox One Slim X. Is that what it's called? The 4D one?
Yeah, the Xbox One X.
Yeah, it never even crossed my mind, because I can play the same games on the Xbox One, and I'll just do that if there's anything that I want.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say to him, that there's no problem with that.
That is a problem, because once your 2 years runs out and your other competition has a lead on you, what's the point at that point?
That's even if they do 2 years. Like, there's no, like, for instance, like
Booty said 2 years, sir.
He said 1 to 2 years, but like there's nobody that's actually like tons of console sales. Like, they don't normally happen when the system first drops due to the price of the system. Like, nobody's going to be running out to buy $500 console. They might buy the Lockhart, since the Lockhart's supposed to be around the $299 range, but nobody's going to run out and buy like $500 consoles. Like, besides the people who have disposable cash and people want to be the first to say that they did it.
You don't mean nobody. You just mean not everybody.
Yeah, there's still, trust me, there's a market of early adopters. Yeah. You can't tell me there isn't.
No, I just said people who have disposable cash and people who like to be the first people to claim that they have stuff. Like the people who will go out and buy a new cell phone every time that a new cell phone drops. But it's like the majority of people will even wait till next year or around Black Friday or the holiday season, or they'll wait till going into late year 2 or early year 3 before they actually pick up a console, because the price is normally more affordable at that time. So I'm banking on that whatever the numbers are going to be, aren't going to be too much of a huge lead. It's not going to matter that much. People will pick up whatever system they want to pick up, whether it's a loyalty thing, whether it's being driven by who has the best games.
Yeah.
I think that's. I don't think the 2 years is gonna. The 2 years of being cross generational is gonna cause any sort of damage to the brand.
I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Simple question. When you finally got your Xbox One, and it wasn't at the time of launch, it was well after. When you got your Xbox One, as you stated before, why did you choose the Xbox One over the PS4?
Oh, to play games with my friends.
Exactly. So if all your friends are buying PlayStation 5s, why would you get an Xbox One Series X? If all your friends are in the lead, and even if it's only 1 year, if most of the people were had their incentives to go buy that because they had game exclusives and all this stuff to buy it, why would they go get an Xbox One X or Series X at that point?
I gotta interject here.
Oh, go ahead.
You want to answer that question, 2 minutes?
Oh yeah, I got an answer for it.
I got my Xbox One exactly for that reason, because all my friends were playing on Xbox One. I don't know what had happened with that system. And like everybody I know had one, and I got mine to play with other people. Why did the PlayStation beat it to death?
Because you're biased towards PlayStation, but we already know this. Continue.
No. Insane.
Xbox One,
the PlayStation
Xbox One,
so ridiculously.
Xbox One had a super horrible start that they never recovered from.
Exactly. They had
they had a deplorable start. Like
yes,
it didn't feel that way.
Oh, they did. As you alluded before, the Xbox 360 was the best and one of the most high-selling consoles. Period. Despite having red rings of death and all these hardware issues, it still outsold the PlayStation until the later end. It was until
cheaper.
It was until I think the Switch came out, and the Wii U. I think it was the Wii U at the time. Or no, it was the Wii. It was during that time. It was the Wii. When the Wii came out, and then it started out selling it. And then at the later end, it was Sony finally caught up to it. And I think it might have surpassed it. But the 360, despite every system burning out with red ring of death and everybody knowing it had this issue, still outsold the PlayStation 3. They were on the height of gaming at that moment, and they destroyed it by saying, yeah, you can't trade games with your friends, your system has to be online all the time, and all this other garbage that people did not want to hear, which is sad because it is the truth. It's what gaming is now. They knew where it was going to go, but the delivery was just horrible, and it tanked their system. So you had Sony saying, hey, you want to we'll show you how to trade games with your friends, and they had two guys basically handing game card CDs to each other, and now they're like, oh shit, I'm buying the PS4.
Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot.
All right, so Two Beards, why did you get a Xbox One? That's what Con asked you, right?
Yeah, and like one of the things I was going to follow that up with, I don't know if you guys have remembered me saying it, but at the end of the 360, at that time, I'd actually considered that being my last console. Like I didn't care about picking up any other consoles. I was like kind of like in a way sort of done with console gaming. Like and then like to me, even though Xbox One had a horrible start, there were no games on the PS4 when it first launched. Nothing worth playing at that time.
Yeah, but they promised us games.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They'll show you a trailer and the game won't come out for 3 years. So and it's like
was hot.
And so it's like I was like, yo, this is like PS2 all over again, where like the first couple of years of the system, it was a good DVD player before all the tons of great games started coming out. And I was like, I'm kind of done. I don't really care about gaming. I was like, Khan had got an Xbox, Payne had got an Xbox, and other people had got one. And I'm like, okay. So then it's like I went ahead and I bought an Xbox, and like I started gaming with them again. I started getting back into gaming. But the difference between this and the next generations coming up, I'm actually excited for the new console generation. I wasn't excited for this generation at all. I still in a way kind of outside of Phil coming in at the end and mid console and saving Xbox from dying. the big heavy hitting games that Sony was dropping towards the end of its to the end to its life cycle. Like, I still think this is probably one of the worst gaming generations console. But like the next ones, I'm actually excited about. Like I'm like, wow, there's 16 studios at Microsoft. They're actually allowing, like, somebody came down and took the shackles off of Rare and was like, hey, you guys want to actually make an actual Rare game? Like they're actually putting out a game that actually looks like something that Rare would have made back in the days when they were with Nintendo. I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I already know for PlayStation 5, I can catch up with the games that I missed on PlayStation 4 because the backwards compatibility is there. But also at the same time, I can't wait to see what Insomniac drops on a high-power PS5. I can't wait to see what the God of War team does. I can't wait to see what Naughty Dog drops. Like, so it's like I'm actually hyped and looking forward to this next console generation, unlike I was with this one.
Yeah, the competition's really driving.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, they're really
cool.
Gonna fight each other for who has the best games.
Yeah, and there's like all sorts of innovation happening now, and it's like there's more people that are being driven forward to make pushing the whole games as a entertainment narrative, more than just like it being the childish process of it's just a game. So it's like it's such a cool time, I think, to be a gamer. So it's like I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I'm actually to repeat what I already said, I'm pretty excited.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm pretty mad. I'm always mad at the end of a console generation because I'm like, I was just getting to like that thing. Like, the PlayStation 3 did poorly, but it was a great machine. There was so much they could have done on that, and then the PS4
when they start pulling out all their tricks at the end of the console.
They could have, but then they just moved all their tricks over to the PS4, and they're like, let's just start Kingdom Hearts 3. People have waited long enough. Let's make them wait some and pay double to buy a new system that's gonna be like a little bit cooler than this. The same with the Xbox. Like,
that was another thing. Like, there was really, like, there were a lot of the games that looked like they belonged on the previous generation at first.
No, they didn't. They were just like anyways. So Microsoft doing this weird thing where they're gonna keep the Xbox One compatible with the Series X for like 2 years. But we don't even know if that's how it's gonna go. Like, it could be that we are still using Xbox Ones for the next 10 years.
It is possible.
You guys know the Atari 2600?
Yes.
When that got released, it was like the biggest thing that had ever come to video game consoles. Everybody knows that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just say yeah. Okay. So they tried to beat that with an 8-bit console called the 5600, which was dog shit, and it was equivalent to the PlayStation 3 after the PlayStation 2. But what they did was they just went back to the 2600. Like, they just started making that.
Oh,
again.
yeah, and they just pretended like the upgrade never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It was so damn weird.
I wouldn't be mad if 3 years from now I'm still getting games that I can play on my Xbox and my 1080p TV. That would be okay. I don't need to see Blades of Grass. Count Blades of Grass? I don't know what the new systems are purporting to do.
Real-time ray tracing.
I already told Two Beards. All this stuff that they're reporting to do, you need to just look at the current PC market, and if they're not doing it there, they're not doing it.
Sir.
Wait.
Sir.
Wait, because all these, the PC market was doing 4K and all this stuff, and all these consoles in the last generation was talking about 4K and all this other garbage. Oh, we're going to have everything locked at 60 frames and this, that, and the other. And it took them to the end of the generation to even come close to that. So once again, you have your benchmark of where you're going to go, and it's the PC market. If you're not seeing it there, you're not going to see it in these next gens.
Sir, ducks in the tub.
Thank you.
Let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you guys something about this whole thing. Why are we talking about PC?
Because PC has become an actual integral part of gaming now.
Exactly.
It's always been an integral part of gaming.
Not it. If
No,
it used to be
not
just like the it used to be
was,
like PC was your fringe games, your point and clicks, your RTSs,
your super hardcore gamers were on PC. People who could afford the hardware and stuff. Yeah.
But now it's like you can find like it's almost indistinguishable the type of games you can get on PC and console together now. So it's a lot of cool games that wouldn't have been on the PC back in the day are now on a console, and I mean on PC, and a lot of games that you wouldn't have got on the console.
And also consoles now are moving towards basically being PCs.
Yeah, I mean the Xbox Series X looks like a PC tower.
You guys played the Game Boy, right?
Yes, the cockroach.
Yeah, that came out around the time of the NES and the Genesis, like the first world. You wouldn't have included the Game Boy into this conversation, right?
No.
And we're not talking about the Switch. So why is it like we got this game console by this company and this game console by this company, and also PCs where they make the games? You don't think that's weird?
Oh, I don't think it's weird. I just think it's one of those things where it's finally it's the end of an old era and it's coming into a new one, basically.
All right. Well, can we talk about the Switch then?
No, because there's no news right now for Switch. Now we're moving to our next topic. Thank you. That went long enough.
Okay. All right.
Which is we're going to talk about Google Stadia, and unfortunately, we keep bashing Google Stadia, and now we actually have numbers for Google Stadia. So, as an article by PocketGamer.biz, which came out on January 15th, they stated that going by Sensor Towers. Basically, for your phone, they were able to get data from November 5th to January 13th to see how many times basically the Stadia app was downloaded, which will then tell you us roughly about how many customers there are for Stadia. And so far over that period, it's only been 550,000 installs. So, yeah, that's not a very good look for a system that's been struggling. At this point, do you think that Google should still should take Stadia off the market just for a moment and work on everything they need to do and relaunch it? Or should they just power through basically low customer base and upsetting their customers? And I'll start with YouTube ears.
Ooh, talk about a clusterfuck. I think that they should, for all the people who have paid, I feel that they should not start they should not start any of the services or anything that was promised to those people. Like basically put that, basically let them know that it's switching over into a beta, and let them know that like their money will be applied to everything once the actual real launch happens. They should operate in a beta mode and get things correct. I do not think they should power through, because I think it's going to take them about 2 years to get all this right. They need to already start repairing bridges that they're burning now. They've thrown game developers under the bus twice now. So yeah, like take it off, keep it on the market, but switch it over to saying it's a beta/early access. Get everything fixed. Do not charge anybody. Have a closed beta invite or something like that to get more people on there to test out the rest of the bugs in the system. Allow more, get yourself onto more phones, because it's crazy that the xCloud runs on every Android phone, but Stadia only runs on 2 versions of the Pixel. That makes no damn sense whatsoever. So like get all that stuff correct, and then go from there. I still don't know I still don't know, even after they get everything right, if people will actually come back around.
I think they will. I think they will.
They can't abandon it, though. That'll be the worst thing ever. They shouldn't do that.
Well, Google, we already talked about this before. Google's known for abandoning projects.
They are, but they should not abandon this one.
GXDrifter, your thoughts on this?
I think they gotta power. There is an amount of money that solves all their problems, and they have that money. And it hasn't even been a year, right?
Yeah, hasn't been a year yet.
Correct. It came out in November 19th, I believe.
Yeah, so like, it ain't great. So sometimes things take a while to really kick in. And like the early adopters, as it were, like the people who have paid their money for Stadia, those people can be compensated, right? There's an amount of money that fixes all. Yeah. And they got to like look toward the future to the people who have not yet gotten a Stadia, and, you know, see how they can entice people maybe with some like console exclusives or good games.
Exactly.
Right?
I agree with you there, 100%. Stadia itself is a service. I think they need to get rid of the payment plan for 4K.
Yes.
That needs to go away. And as GXDrifter was stating, and I stated before also in the past, you need to get exclusives, whether you start scooping up indie developers or whatever the case may be. You need to get something on your system to entice, or as he stated, incentivize people to invest in your service plan, because you're telling people to spend $10 to get Stadia service, and then also spend anywhere from what, like $20 to $60 for games. That just seems a little too high for me.
I feel like with the architecture of it, they shouldn't have to sell the games. Like, if it were just $10 a month, play on whatever you got, you can buy a controller for $50 or whatever, like, we would all have that. Why wouldn't you just do that so you could play your, I don't know, Destiny 2 your phone? I don't know what people play on Stadia, all right? But
I agree.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. They make you buy the games so that you can play the same games that you be playing on your Xbox One or whatever. Like, I got a laptop. If I want to play a PC game, I'll play it on my laptop.
Yeah, I agree, but the point of Stadia is not so much as that. It's the fact that for people who don't have powerful systems, they could play any game at high fidelity with basically no hardware. That's the appeal of Stadia, right? So you could take a laptop from like 4 years ago, put the Stadia application on, and you just play, you know, Battlefield 5 at 4K. Well, not 4K because they probably wouldn't support it, but you could play it at high 1080p or whatever that thing supports. And there's,
it's a cool idea, but if you're paying for everything anyway, why don't you just get a $400 prefab gaming PC or whatever? I don't get that.
I mean, this is the stuff we
500, and it's great.
Me and Jex are definitely in alignment, and I agree with you wanted. I stated this the last time. I think, and if you're going to sell games, you need to sell games. Just make it a Netflix system. Just like $10, you get 20 games. They rotate, and just move on with it.
And I feel like Two Beards is also with us on this whole like they gotta make it work. I just feel like there's no reason to cut back and say this needs to go back to the shop or anything like that. Just keep pushing.
Well, the reason why people are saying it needs to go through the shop is because a lot of people who already have it are very upset with the service. They're continually paying money for nothing. You know, that's why
it's not that many people.
I mean, it's 550,000 people. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot, but still, that's 550,000 people that probably spend $130 to get a system.
Money back.
Yeah, they could. I don't know if Google's going to.
I mean, I don't think that they will. Like, they could just lose that 50 people if they really feel like it. And I think that's like the important part. I think at this point isn't keeping the people who early adopted. I think it's drumming up business for the future, because it's a business about future. Like, they weren't just trying to unload a bunch of stuff and get out. They're trying to change the game, and you gotta push sometimes. But none of us think that they should just cancel at this point.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. No, this is something that they definitely should invest in. And me and Two Beers back in the day, I remember when Live came out, not Xbox Live, but Live, which is one of the first cloud programs. And I remember, even you remember, Two Beers, we were playing Borderlands 1. And the server was literally down the street in LA, and the latency was like god awful. And I'm like, who pays $60 for this garbage? But the idea was there, you know. It was just right now we're slightly, you know, behind basically the future. That's the future of gaming. Nobody's going to buy systems. Everything's going to run on your app, and it's all going to be, you know, streamed to you. That's just the way it's going to be, you know.
I don't think that is the case, and for different reasons than we had this huge blow-up argument about it. There is a satisfaction, right, in buying that console and setting it down next to your TV and all that. Like, you can't replicate that. And as long as we have millennial hipsters and shit like that want these nostalgic feelings, we're going to keep having these box consoles. Like, I think this coming generation of consoles was supposed to be the all-digital one, and people didn't want that. We were like, hey, give us our discs, dude. We want to have boxes that we can put up on shelves and show off all our cool stuff.
And then people were like, go outside.
Why would I go outside? I got all this cool stuff to look at inside.
I only remember why I was angry at digital downloads in the first place.
I don't know. I think I don't think consoles. I think consoles is going to become a niche thing. Same thing with a lot of PC gaming. I think
a niche thing.
Nah, not really. Console gaming has always been pretty much the crux of gaming. Console gaming has always been the pioneer and the leaders of gaming. It was the thing that sparked the market from Nintendo all the way on.
Nintendo, the Famicom.
Yeah. No,
family computer.
Yeah.
The Famicom.
Yeah, Nintendo, NES, all on. Basically on. From Nintendo, Super Nintendo on, video consoles have been basically what pushes and drives video gaming.
What I'm saying is those were computers.
That's fine.
Like, the Genesis is probably the first one that wasn't a computer at all.
I'm not arguing that it's not a computer. I'm arguing the systems that push the actual craze and got more audience in terms of playing. A phone is a computer. I'm not arguing that. You don't say my computer, my handheld computer. You say my phone.
What's the first video game you ever played?
First video game I ever played was, man, I'm gonna date myself, Kaboom.
On what?
I don't know. It was one of the Atari systems.
The first game you ever played was an Atari game?
Yeah, Kaboom.
You didn't play games on the computers at school before that?
No, my computers, I grew up in the place where it was high poverty. We didn't have computers.
I
didn't get computers until high school, and I didn't get my first personal computer until sophomore year of high school.
Well, yeah, I mean personal computers, but
yeah,
y'all didn't have computer labs.
Well, okay, so maybe one time in third grade we had one computer where we played Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, the best game.
Yeah, there you go. Was that the first game? Like,
the best fucking game of all time.
What's up, Roku Dai? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream.
What's going on, Roku?
Oh, it is Roku Dai. Yeah, all right. Well, what's the topic that we're talking about now?
Yeah, we're moving on.
We agreed on Google Stadia. Right,
yes. All right, so we're moving on to the next topic, and this topic's a big one, and this is one I believe that GXDrifter is going to have a lot to say, so I'll throw it to you in a minute.
How is it?
I know you do. So we have an article by Forbes, and this is basically looking at Warcraft 3 Reforged, which basically came out. Unfortunately, Blizzard gave this to another party to put out, and a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are asking for refunds. It's been stated now that Blizzard's no longer giving refunds out. They're denying people. There was an article that Young Ye put out where in Australia you have to give refunds, and they basically told them, yeah, you played the game, so we're not giving you a refund. All sales are final. So that's going to be a fun little lawsuit. But basically going through it, some of the things that were outlined was that Blizzard promised specific cutscenes that were close up and, dynamic, but instead they were like far away, third-person view cutscenes. Gamers are reporting numerous bugs, where basically the game boots up and it just says fail, and you can't go any further, or they get black screens. They have, of course, login and connectivity issues, which I throw away. That's something that usually happens. And the biggest issue of it all is even if you own the original Warcraft 3, you can't play the original Warcraft 3 because the minute you boot it up, it loads up and forces you to basically your version into the Reforged version. So a lot of people are upset with Blizzard for a lot of things, from Hong Kong up into basically being a shell of what they are. So GXDrifter, what's your thoughts on Warcraft 3 and just Blizzard as a whole as of lately?
Mr. Blizzard himself.
The Warcraft King, go ahead. World of Warcraft King, go ahead, sir.
All right, everybody, pull up a chair. It's going to be story time with GXDrifter.
Oh, boy.
All right. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can, though. Once upon a time, there was Blizzard, and it was good. They made amazing games that were under the radar for the most part. Blah, blah, blah. Warcraft eventually happened, and then they blew up like the god. After that, they started working on like the next world, which got the code name Titan. Titan was a joint project with Bungie. They were going to make like a first-person MMORPG. It was a very ambitious project. It was very expensive. Activision, like, y'all taking too long, make this awesome, or get off the pot. And so they got off the pot. They took assets from what they had made for Titan, and they made Overwatch. Put out Overwatch and Hearthstone, and those games were amazingly popular. They're both really good games, I'll testify. But they were wildly popular and low budget, relatively low budget.
Yep.
So they're like, all right, what we're going to do is, in order to make Activision happy, keep making these small games, tiny releases, like we put out a new expansion, Diablo 3 instead of Diablo 4. We're going to remake Warcraft 3 and put that out to make new money off of the product, etc., etc. Everything but Warcraft 3 came out really good. This is like the first time Blizzard has put out a new game that was dog shit. And I hate to talk about a game that I haven't played, but I played Warcraft 3 a lot. And I can tell you from playing Warcraft 3 a lot in the computer labs at college that it's not a very good game. It's just not. And people started paying $30 for it so that they could get in and play this remaster of Warcraft 3. Like, I don't know what they expected to come from that experience, but it wasn't good.
I think they expected the game to boot up and actually play, but continue.
Fancy.
Is that what games are supposed to do?
I really feel like they should have put that game out. The biggest thing that Blizzard put out this year was this past year was WoW Classic, and that was for extra. Just like, hey, guys, you're paying republication craft vanilla. It's not exactly. They tuned it and stuff so that it wouldn't be shit, because things are shit when they come out at first. And that was good. They should have given the player base Craft 3 for maybe like $10. Also, they should have done open beta. Their beta was pretty much closed, and look how that came out. All right, I think that's everything I have to say about that.
Cool. So Rokudai in chat states, I was there when you announced it, and the only thing I could say is wow, pun intended. Agree with you. Agree. Agree. Go ahead, Two Beard says you were alluding earlier about certification for Microsoft. I'm sure so that your game boots up. I'm sure you were talking about this, so go ahead, continue your thoughts.
Wait. I gotta cut you off and let you finish. Forgot to say this one thing.
Yeah.
The Titan project. The Blizzard assets went to make Overwatch. The Bungie assets became as Destiny.
Gotcha.
That's where Destiny came from. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Two Beards. Sorry.
I was gonna say that the writing was kind of on the wall. Like when the new guy got hired at Activision, I forgot the guy's name, but that guy he's an idiot. Say it nicely. Like this was the guy who basically said that this is the guy who looks at games like Candy Crush, and he was like, this is where Activision Blizzard needs to go. This is the guy who was just like, who wanted to put Guitar Hero on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, because everybody's gonna gather around a computer at Facebook to play Guitar Hero.
I get the impulse. Like, hey, let's just make more money off of less things. It makes sense.
And looking at the age demographic who uses Facebook, yeah, your grandmas and grandpas and your uncles and shit, they're all going to play that game. Like such a fucking smart man who deserves all the millions that he makes. So it's like when that type of guy becomes in control of a gaming company, all of a sudden, all of Blizzard's good faith that they've had for the years and years that they have made Activision tons and tons of money just goes out of the window. So all of a sudden, these guys know what they're doing. Now they're being forced into an EA type system where they want new stuff like all the time, constantly. They basically want a Madden type out of Blizzard. When you hear the story about the Warcraft 3 remaster and how it even became delayed by a year, they wanted to do something special with it. They just didn't want to a graphical upgrade. They wanted to give you a new play experience. What happened is the game got shipped off to a third party to develop it, and I think Malaysia. The studio there didn't do jack shit.
Oh,
it's so
I understand that too.
The game still
like,
has
we can do something, or we can do nothing and get paid for it.
It still has the same bugs from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Do anything with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
So you're like, yeah. And so, like Blizzard's like, yeah, like we're going to do this. It's going to be a new experience. We're adding new things. Nah, dog, it's the same fucking game. We delayed a whole year for nothing. So it's like, this is the sort of stuff I'm expecting now. Like things that don't make any damn sense, like Overwatch 2. Which makes no sense. Like,
whoa, hold the phone. Now give the phone to me. What's this you're saying about Overwatch 2?
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes every single sense. What are you talking about? What do you know about Overwatch 2?
Because it's not a true part 2. Like,
yeah,
it's what.
Have you played Overwatch?
Yeah, I played Overwatch before.
So let me part 2.
Let me tell you why it's not. Let me tell you why it's not a true part 2.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like this shows you what type of corporate stockholder type of management they're under.
No.
Because normally
Overwatch 2 isn't a true part 2, but it's not trying to be a true part 2. Like you don't have to buy Overwatch 2 if you play Overwatch.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. That's the thing I'm trying to say to you. Like normally the content in Overwatch 2 would have just been the DLC.
Right.
But now it's like they had to slap a 2 on it and pretend it's a brand new game. Like, because it's not a brand new game really, because it's like the only thing that's going to be new in Overwatch 2 is campaigns. But all the characters that are in Overwatch 2, you can still play if you have Overwatch 1. So it's like that just goes to show you the type of wave that their new handlers are on. It's like
a chronological sequel. Like there's
like,
a story, and that's like the story of Overwatch resolves
Rudikai says,
Yeah, I was going to say.
Watch one.
Yeah, that's all I was going to try to get to.
Completely agree.
Rokadai, yeah, I was trying to get to the comments.
You don't know me.
So yeah, that's sadly where they're going. Just like,
Two Beers, can I say one thing to what you just said with Overwatch?
Shoot.
It makes perfect sense. Keep in mind, this is the same Activision that was selling you Destiny 2 and then give you pieces of the fucking story for $30 fucking as DLC patches and then lock you out of certain parts of the game because you had to buy the fucking DLC. Yes. So let's continue. Let's continue.
It's not like that.
How is it not like that when you're paying fucking $30 for the fucking campaign, which was not included in the first one? How is it not like that?
You don't have to pay for it. Like in Destiny 2, Destiny 1 is perfect in every way. I can shut up about that. Destiny 2, in order to progress, you have to keep buying, right? In Overwatch and Overwatch 2, you don't have to buy Overwatch 2 at all.
Unless you want to play the campaigns.
About servers, right? Unless you want to play the exclusive Overwatch 2 content, yes. But that's not what Overwatch is about, right? If you want to continue to play Overwatch, the servers are going to be the same. If you already paid for Overwatch, you can just continue to play Overwatch. And I don't know if you guys have played Overwatch, but after you buy in, it's free. They just keep giving you more dudes, and you get to play it whenever you feel like.
It's not free. I spent $40 for a multiplayer-only game. And you're telling me I had to spend another $40 for the campaign of it.
It's a multiplayer-only game. It's not a campaign game. Like that's.
I'm just saying the mindset of gamers today is just that. Because this would have never went, 10, 15 years ago. That'd be like, yeah, your mind. But now, with the world of early access, gamers are willing to pay for to be fucking beta testers. So it's the state of gaming. I may not approve of it, but it's the state of gaming. That's all.
I think that Blizzard is turning things around after having seen the BlizzCon, right?
I don't think it's on them. I don't think any of this is their fault. I think they're being pushed into being a type of company that they're not. And
I think that they had, and it pushed them to record low sales. Did you see the trailer?
Oh yeah, the Diablo 4 trailer was very nice.
Did you weep in joy at the loveliness of that? I
thought it was awesome, but I also at the same time I thought it was like DEFCON 4 alert. We're at a new low. Release the trailer now because that's what everybody wanted to see from us. Like I don't think it's one of those things where like, hey, look at what we made out of passion. Because I still think they're behind dumb management, and I still think that they're going to like push their same stupid ideas, and they're going to keep ruining shit. They're going to keep their heads barely above water because of all the goodwill that they still currently have, and they still make good quality games. But I feel that we're going to get more bombs like what came out with this World of Warcraft 3 remaster.
I understand the principle. I see where you would get that idea. Right?
But the thing that sucks is that like I
see where you would get that idea.
I was gonna say let Tiberius continue his thought, and then you can.
I was gonna say the thing.
I thought he did continue his thought.
No, go ahead, Tiberius.
The thing that sucks is that like in the world of game development, whether like you're a dev, a tester, like it's never going. The blame is never go to where it needs to go to. So and one of the sad things also is that like this isn't just happening with Blizzard. Like you can look out and you can see like this see the shit seeping into other companies as well. Like what's going on like at Bethesda right now, like Fallout 76.
Yeah. Well, all right, real quick. Yeah. All right. I'll let before you retort GX. Let me just read one comment. Rokadai says they're keeping it optional as far as the campaign, as all PvP maps and characters are going to be available in Overwatch 1, as he stated. Go ahead, GXDrifter. What was your butt for 2 Beers?
So I think things are actually coming around from that. Like we went through a dark period in gaming where I think what was it? Battlefront 2 was like the flagship bullshit that gamers wouldn't put up with. I think that things that we saw from Blizzard that the show like a year ago where they announced the Diablo phone game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they did that because they were actually already working on the good stuff and couldn't show it. I think that everything we're seeing now, like that just came out, that's bad, is because they're working on things that are good based on what we've seen from recently. It's all good stuff. Like Warcraft Shadowlands looks amazing. Like everybody is pissed off about BFA, me included, is excited about the things that are coming in Shadowlands. People were miserable playing Diablo 3 expansions, turned about Diablo and how that's going to be a real change back to the series. I never played a Diablo before Diablo 3, but Diablo 4 makes that seem like I think we're coming around to the investors and such are like, all right, you know what, dude, we got to pull a Disney, just take a step back, let them do what they do, make us money. And it's going to happen, I think, across the board. Like the, what was that Star Wars game? Fallen Empire? Fallen something. Fallen. Yeah, that game seemed pretty good. I didn't play it myself. It got good reviews. It had no microtransactions or anything like that. Just like, hey, step back, leave us alone. Let us make a good game and we'll sell it for you. I think that's where we're going to head. Blizzard, I also want to say about Blizzard that like they have curried decades of good favor. They have canceled games because it wasn't going to be good enough. And I think that a couple of years of bullshit should be overwritten. These decades of goodness that they had before. Let's give it a chance. It was. And like people can't direct their hatred of these games toward Activision. Like they have to go to the developers. But Activision can't look at Activision. Like they have to look at what's going wrong in the system, and probably they're going to land on that if you keep putting your grubby paws in there and trying to appease markets that don't matter, you're just going to mess up what you have, then dissolving a company. Can you guys imagine that? Activision dissolving Blizzard?
Yes, I can.
That would be great.
Any last words on YouTube, Beers?
They could go Microsoft first party. Could you imagine?
I'll give it to you, two Beers.
First party Blizzard? Holy fuck.
A wise man at a cable company once told me that it doesn't matter how many times a customer bitches or complains or gets angry or writes bad reviews about your service or none of that matters as long as they're still paying for it.
There you go.
But we're not still paying for it. And so
clearly we are. They bought Warcraft 3.
Did you buy Warcraft 3?
No, I don't buy anything Blizzard because I'm not a fan of Activision. The last game I bought was Overwatch, and that was good enough. I'm good.
Hey, Overwatch is like that, right? Like you pay your $40, and then it's evergreen. You don't need any more.
Sure.
But yeah, nobody bought Warcraft 3. That was like 10 people were mad about it, and they just a minority of people on the internet seem like they have a majority voice. That's the thing that happens all the time. Activision's mad about Warcraft 3 because of the sales of Warcraft 3.
Okay. All right. Now we'll move on to the next topic. So we're going to take a step out of gaming and we're going to go into movies. Upset with Two Beers because he wasn't supposed to be looking at trailers, but this motherfucker wants to look at trailers. But I digress. We're going to cover first Birds of Prey. So Birds of Prey came out in terms of early viewings, and so far it's been getting a lot of buzz and a lot of good praise. There's been a lot of people who are supporting it. They say that the story is a mess, but basically the characters themselves, the acting and so forth is pretty good. I'll read off some of the comments. They stated that from BD, Birds of Prey is a lot of fun, violent as hell. The birds are so entertaining and distinctly different from each other. Ewan McGregor is so sinister and often hilarious. He or she also stated, if Birds of Prey told me anything, it's that we need a whole lot more of Canary and Huntress. They are great, but there's a lot left on the bone. And then we have Clarisse Lofrey, who states, Birds of Prey is so up my street, it's ridiculous. Fashionable weirdo ladies breaking men's shins and aggressively complimenting each other. Yes, please, thank you. Millicent Thomas states, Kathy Ann's Birds of Prey is criminally fun celebration of sisterhood with some of my favorite fight scenes in recent memory. I was grinning from ear to ear the entire thing, making a pub debut with my review soon. And I'll read one more, which is Mike Rio. I'm sorry, I don't speak French. Just saw Birds of Prey. Am happy to report that it's my favorite modern DC movie yet. Like Shazam, it carves out its own path with totally unique aesthetics, action, and tone. Margot, Ewan, and the rest are 100% fabulous. Why aren't there more roller skate action scenes? So I want to start off with you two, Beards. Birds of Prey, we slammed it, at least I slammed it a lot of times from earlier trailers. Seems to be getting a lot of praise from the early screens. What do you think of it, and do you think it's going to impact basically a boost of sales with this early praise?
I started off on the same aspect as you with the first trailer. I actually thought the first trailer looked horrible. Like we were both saying, it looked like a CW trailer at the time. But the second trailer, if you remember, was more keen to that. I had a lot of fun watching it. I think they actually put a lot of there was a lot of character into it. It looked very, very fun. There was some scenes that looked all fight choreography wise, where like the driver was not selling Harley Quinn, banging his head into the steering wheel. But outside of that, I was like, wow, this looks like a pretty it's going to be a pretty good movie. Very good fun popcorn flick. I still don't understand why they decided to make Cassie Cain a little girl. I think the second trailer sold me on it, and I think it's going to do well. I don't think it's going to do like huge numbers. It might do around like Shazam type numbers, but it's not going to like.
That's not good.
Yeah, in their eyes, it's not good. But I think that's pretty good for the budget that they probably had making this movie. So like I think it's going to do pretty well, but I don't think just like every other movie that's come out, I don't think the critics are going to have any sway on it.
Okay. Before I get to you, GX, one moment I'm going to read a comment from Rokudai, who was actually on the show where we reviewed the actual second trailer. He states that, okay, those reviews are suspect, and then also I felt the second trailer, but those reviews reek of agenda bias. So go ahead, GXDrifter. What's your opinion? You could give, if you want to answer Roku, go ahead, or if you agree with them or not. But what's your opinion so far on all these positive reviews for Birds of Prey?
I mean, I agree wholeheartedly, but I don't think it's a bad thing. What's so wrong about agenda bias? Did you guys see that Ghostbusters movie?
Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
We just had a whole convo on that.
I felt like it was fine. Like, having seen the previous two Ghostbusters movies, it was fine. Like, what do you want from Ghostbusters?
Don't you mean the previous one Ghostbuster movie?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
hey. There was nothing wrong with Ghostbusters 2.
That Statue of Liberty scene.
Right with it, but...
that Statue of Liberty scene was
Vigo.
No.
Yes. Look how he stares.
Come on, you gotta
Vigo was amazing.
You gotta cut them some slack, though. No, how in the fuck are you gonna follow up Gozer?
Vigo.
The original Ghostbusters.
Vigo.
There was never supposed to be another thing like that, and we got more. So what? It's not the Matrix. Like, the Matrix moved people's hearts.
The Matrix
And
should have not
then-
went past the first one.
Yeah,
Agree.
that's how I feel about it, and that is correct. You are right to acknowledge the fact that there's only Matrix movie.
There is no spoon.
It's possible to do that wrong, but
There's also no
Birds of
sequels.
Prey, I
Go ahead.
feel the same way. Like, it's fine. I'm sure it'll be a fun-filled romp with a female director and a largely female cast. I hate to use male cast, but like reparation. How many movies have been big budget superheroes that had like one?
You're cutting out, by the way. Too. GX, you're cutting out. You might want to fix your mic. You've been cutting out a lot.
Darn it. Yeah. All right. How about now?
Much better.
Much better.
Okay. So what I'm saying is reparations.
I'm agreeing with you, but
Black Panther for women.
yes, I'm sure we have people who are like, "Oh my God, you're supporting females." White knighting, white knighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't have a problem. If you do all female, why? I don't even care that it's all female and all female directors. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I'm fine with
yeah,
it.
like Wonder Woman.
That's
was
always
good.
been my
You guys
thing.
saw Wonder Woman?
Yep, I enjoyed it until the ending.
That's super nice.
No, that's Warner Brothers superhero movies. Bad CG
Right,
fight
right.
sequences.
Mhm.
Do you bleed?
You will.
Save Marfa! How do you know that name?
All right.
All right. Let me get my comments and we'll go. But before I do, Rokadai says, as long as it makes sense and it's good, no one should complain. I agree, but from what I'm hearing from a lot of these reviews, they're stating that the movie overall, like, you're going to have a fun time in the movie, but the plot and everything is messy. I guess the pacing is messy. So it's not without issues, right? But the actual portrayals and the acting of the ladies themselves is what will escalate, and make it a more fun experience. So, as Two Beers said before, when I first looked at the trailer, I was like, dude, this looks like a CW TV show. In fact, I remember showing it to my wife and she was like, that's not real. It's not real. It's somebody who must have made it or something.
That's a fan video.
Yeah, pretty much.
I made a fan trailer.
Pretty much. But like I said, the second trailer, that's just to rehash what I said. I thought it was a better trailer. I wasn't a fan of it because it gave me Suicide Squad vibes, and I wasn't that big of a fan of Suicide Squad. It was a fun time, but it's like you watch it again, you're like, wow, I somewhat like this movie. Ugh. But anyway, I will say this much: I don't know if it's going to help the sales for it, as Two Beers was alluding to. I think once it comes out, if the audience gives it a good word of mouth, I think it will help the sales of the movie in that sense. But I hope it is successful. Warner Brothers needs a win. They make so many dumb mistakes and they make so many bad movies. I'm hoping that this is enjoyable, and I'm going in to go see it.
Oh, snap.
No judgments. But I'll go see it. But I'll tell you this much: if I have another Bats Jesus Christ moment like in the beginning of BVS, I will walk out. I will walk the hell out. Any other comments before we move from Birds of Prey and we go into trailers?
Nope. That's everything to say about it.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right, so the goal was for nobody to see the Fast trailer until tonight, but evidently Two Beards already posted and watched the trailer. I don't know why.
Beards is just another word for messing up. That's all that is. We should just call him messing up now.
But I'm going to mute you guys for a moment, and I'm going to put in the Fast trailer for everybody. So we're going to take a look at the Fast 9 trailer as I mute you guys real quick, and we'll get started with that right about now. Let's switch over. All right, I'm gonna go first on this. Usually I deflect. I'm gonna go first on this. You throw Han in the end? Really? Justice for Han? So Han is not dead? What? I didn't even know John Cena was in this movie. I literally have no words. I wish I had cameras so y'all could see my face.
It might be Han's twin brother.
Oh my god, dude! Wow, I was about to say it looks like I guess this is just Fast and Furious now, right? This is where Fast and Furious is. Mm-hmm. Family, though, as Roku says, but family, laugh out loud. Yeah, wow. I thought I was going to comment, but I really have nothing to say. My jaw is on the ground. Two Beers, go ahead. You take this first. Wow. Wow. I will say this. I think the trailer is way too long and shows too much, but go ahead, Two Beers. Wow.
Your father gave this to me. Now I'm giving it to you for protection from what's to come. Yo, the car did a Spider-Man swing at the end. It was a good idea.
Yo!
The car swung on a rope at the fucking end. Hang it up, guys. This shit is done. You motherfuckers went from car racing to becoming a heist movie, and now your car is swinging on the rope like fucking Spider-Man. This shit is gone.
Whoa! I think something's wrong.
What's the wrong?
Playing again?
No, when we talk, we always play the trailer in the background for people to see. That way you can see again and you could do it. Okay?
Would it be okay if you didn't do that?
Go ahead, GX. What's your comments?
I heard that Vin Diesel used to produce these movies to pay for things that couldn't really get funding, like the Chronicles.
That was the XXX movies. He actually enjoys the Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah, he's actually the producer and owns them, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Well, where are my Riddick movies?
They're coming.
Yeah.
But your comments on Fast 9, sir, that's what you're here for. Your comments on John Cena as the villain, the brother of Dom Toretto. The brother of Dom Toretto. So, how do you feel about this?
All right, here's how I feel about this. Movies should not have knives. That's ridiculous. For something called the Fast and Furious, not really about speed. They had a stealth bomber fly in, right? Going at the speed of a car. Remember?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I remember.
Why is it called Fast?
Because it's part of the Fast and Furious series.
Slow as shit.
It's part of the Fast series. That's why it's called Fast.
Is it though?
Yes. This is the new Fast series. Yes.
They did have the one car with the rocket attached to it.
That is true.
I'm not going to see this movie, but I could get high and sit in the back with all my homies and just laugh.
Have you seen any of the other Fast movies after Fast 5?
Truth to tell, I saw up to Fast and the Furious 3.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't even about racing.
Yeah, they're not about racing. They're literally superheroes. But the Fast series, as over the top and crazy as it is, you accept it for what it is, and they're very fun movies. Like you go in, you see over the top action, the kind of stuff that would have sold billions of dollars back in the 1990s, and you have fun with it. You don't take it for what it is. It is what it is.
I'll tell you though, something cool. I think this probably wasn't that expensive.
Man,
like it was probably a lot of CG.
Yeah,
and that's really fast and efficient now.
Yeah,
probably all green screen sets. Like, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this shit hurt my brain, man.
Why are you thinking so hard on it? It's Fast and Furious, man.
I mean, it's like I should have already known. Or like The Rock was like using his foot to move like fucking missiles in the previous one. Dog.
Well, everything The Rock does is ridiculous, right?
Like
Like Ballers is a shock when you see Ballers for the first time.
It's like, yeah, you're human.
Absurd.
You're human. Go ahead, 2 Beers.
Really?
I was say Cena took a full car to the body.
Yes.
They rode a Jeep over a bridge. You know, on all of this, I'm like, okay, this is funny. This is fun. This is some fun stuff. I mean, she gets hit and lands right on his car, no broken bones. I'm like, all right, this is all cool. This is fun. But the that ending though.
The spider swing.
Yeah, the spider swing with the car, because you already know when you see the full scene, that shit's gonna disconnect. The car's gonna fucking flip, land on its wheels, and he's gonna keep speeding as if he never stopped. Oh my fucking goodness!
I'm still surprised John Cena's in this. I don't remember ever reading about it or hearing about him being in this movie.
There were so many people who got in their feelings after the Rock and Statham did the spinoff.
Yeah.
The spinoff?
Yeah,
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw with Black Superman.
So the idea that came out of this was that in Fast 8, basically The Rock and Vin Diesel had to film scenes separately. They had to basically put them together via CG. They were fighting on the set and all this other stuff. So supposedly we had to spin off, and you kind of hear like they won't ever work again. But then I'm hearing rumors now that Rock's supposed to be coming back for Fast 10. So do you think they're setting up this whole John Cena Rock thing to
If John Cena actually lives throughout this movie, but don't.
Sir, Han got ran over and executed, but yet he's walking at the end of this sequence. And everybody keeps saying, where's the justice for Han? Oh, you'll get the justice for Han. And they just put him in the end of the sequence.
Do they have like superpowers and stuff?
Yes, they have superpowers in their driving and all the stunts and stuff that they do.
Okay. Well, that makes some more sense.
Are you trying to make sense out of it? Why are you trying to do that?
2 Beers, have you seen any of the new Fast movies?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I would suggest this, and I know this is a hard sell, but honestly, go back and watch like Fast 5 through, I would say, maybe 7 or 8, and then come back and then tell me, how you feel about it. Because they're over the top. It's like you're watching this and you're like, what the fuck? But the movies are so much more enjoyable than the original because they're so over the top. You just shut your brain off and you're just enjoying the action and the banter and the characters and so forth. Because it's driving up buildings and shit like that, I can't explain it, It's like you get a video game that's just over the top stuff that'll never happen, and that's basically what it is.
It kind of feels like Mission Impossible that was written by a 12-year-old.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Oh, that sounds about.
Wow. Wow. But we got one more trailer. We're not going to. We'll have it play, but we're not going to watch it with actual sound. And I'll switch over to it now. This is Mortal Kombat. The DC animation team is actually bringing out Mortal Kombat movie. For me, my first thought was, wow, the animation is really bad. But I'll start off with you, GXDrifter. Have you seen this trailer? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
I have seen it. The animation is direct-to-video animation, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a low budget. They're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie from this studio that I thought wasn't pretty good. Like they're solid.
Gotcha.
I think it'll be reliably fun, and it'd be nice to see a take original Mortal Kombat associated with that, the first movie.
Okay, you're really cutting out again, so that you know.
God's damn it.
Go ahead, Go ahead, Two Bears.
What you got to say, Two Beard?
I don't think the animation is bad as Khan thinks it is. I do think it's mid-grade, but I think some of the fights look pretty good. I think some of the scenes look pretty smooth. Whoever the team is, they know their way around tricks on to create more with less. The style is kind of ridiculously angular, and this is coming from somebody who actually has a pretty angular style.
Oh, you didn't design it?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
People I showed it to, somebody else made that same joke.
Yeah, I thought it was all Bitsaki magic.
No. So yeah, I think it's way too angular, and it kind of takes away from it. The music kind of took me out of the trailer as well. The music was very weird. So it's like okay. It's something I'll give it a watch when it's streaming, but that's about it. I'm not hyped for it. Oh, now I know what it reminds me of. Did any of you guys see the '90s Ninja Turtles that came out? The ones where they gave them a much more harsh looking style, and they gave Michelangelo back his nunchucks. Yeah, this style kind of reminds me of that. So yeah, it's I'll give it I'll give it a check, but it's not something I'm dying to see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as I stated, the animation, a lot of it didn't impress me, but I like the story of Mortal Kombat. It's not, like, oh my god, groundbreaking, but it's a fun experience. So I'm very curious to see what they do with it. I know we got a Mortal Kombat live action movie coming out, so we should be seeing a trailer for that in probably a couple months or so. So I'm curious to see what that looks like too. Mortal Kombat's pretty big right now. They're doing a lot. NetherRealms has done a lot to revigorate that franchise for a new generation. The art style for me, it doesn't really do much, but when it comes out, I'll give it a watch, right? It is what it is, so.
Mm-hmm. You know what just occurs to me?
What's that, sir?
It's Mortal Kombat. Like, I was looking at this trailer, if it was weird Street Fighter, but there's supposed to be some, like, hearts coming out of chests and that. And it is rated R.
Yeah.
So that's novel. Like, I don't think we've ever seen anything like that from an American studio or from a Western studio.
Yeah. I mean, the actual DC animated movies were kind of rated R, a lot of their animated movies, but to an extent. But yeah, I agree. I'm very curious to see how they're going to do a lot of the gore and so forth. A rated R cartoon is very interesting. Good point. All right, we're at the 2 hour mark, so we're going to wrap this up very, very quickly because our streams have been going long. So instead of looking at, let's swap over. So instead of looking at so right now we're at the point of we do our what the fuck of the week story. So we have for our what the fuck week of the story, or as we call it, WOW. It's a Florida man story, so I'm going to swap over. I'm going to mute you all, and we're going to listen to this real quick report for a Florida woman report about our wow of the week. All right, and let's go.
Amanda Meter is charged with robbery with a firearm and neglect of a child. According to this arrest report by the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, it was Halloween night when Meter and her 15-year-old son and 2 others drove to this Circle K at the intersection of Red Bug Lake Road and Tuscaloosa Road. According to the arrest report, Meter's teenage son allegedly entered the store donning a mask and produced a firearm and then demanded money from a fearful cashier. While the robbery was going down, Meter allegedly backed up her minivan to the store.
This suspect was a willing participant in that she knew that this armed robbery was going to happen. She served as a lookout, and she was there also as this minor effected their escape from the store.
Surveillance cameras from the Circle K captured everything, including Meter's face, but that wasn't what led investigators to her and her son.
We were able also to develop some forensic evidence from a note.
That note contained the juvenile's fingerprints, and when they searched Meter's home in unincorporated Winter Park, they found a mask and clothing that matched what the robber wore during the robbery.
Had the store clerk decided to use some sort of force to defend themselves, this minor could have been injured or even killed. It was a terrible decision on her part.
Florida, so what the fuck of the week? A mother basically drives her son to a convenience store to rob in a minivan. Your thoughts, Two Beards?
We got the plot for Fast and Furious 10 right here. Like life imitates art, right?
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I don't know. I know that there's like she got the wrong memo when it's like support your kids and support the their interests in life. Like, Mom, I want to rob a store. I got you. I'll be your lookout in the getaway driver. You can do this. I believe in your son. So
God.
I don't have any real words for this. I just know that like yeah, I don't have any words. I don't know what the fuck happened here.
GXDrifter, your thoughts, sir?
I haven't seen every episode of this podcast. I'm embarrassed to say.
That's no problem.
Is every what the fuck of the week something from Florida?
No,
actually,
no.
Crazy, right?
No, it's
you
not.
You can do a whole 2 hour.
Yeah, you could.
Correct. No, in fact, the one from when Roku was on 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago was in Denver, which was around Christmas time, where a guy on Grindr grinded in the wrong way his man's products into his mouth as he invited his date from Grindr, killed him, and then ate his penis and balls on Christmas Day, probably with fava beans.
That ain't right.
Hey, right. I'm just telling you that was what the fuck of the week for that week, and it was in Florida.
And then when you saw what the guy looked like, you're like, why in the fuck?
Did he have like shark teeth or anything like that?
He looked like a lost Wyatt brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
it looks like when he walked out of his house, metal music starts playing and he starts doing incantation spells and shit. Like,
time we chose to be born.
Yeah. My favorite Florida man is always going to be the one who the baby gator into the drive-through window. That's always going to be my favorite. Your total, sir, comes out to $5. $5. You get this baby gator, bitch.
That's what they need in the Fast and the Furious. More baby gator, projectile baby gator.
Well, Roku said, well, he didn't forget her change.
No.
Oh, God.
And the sad thing about it is not only did they capture them because they had their face all over the cameras from her minivan, but the simple fact that the kid handed a note with his fingerprints all over it is just only in Florida. So the before we close out, a runner-up was a robber in Maryland who went in blackface to rob a bank. Yeah, that was the runner-up, and you can clearly see.
Up, right?
What's that?
You might as well double up, right? Like, you're gonna do wrong, do a lot of wrong. Wise red man once said, "If you gotta be a monkey, be a gorilla."
Oh my God.
Oh man. I'm going to rob the bank and be offensive at the same time. It's a 2-for-1. motherfucker had the nerve to put a beanie on too.
All right, let me show it. Let me show it real quick. So yeah, here it is right here. The gentleman, white male with paint on his face. Oh,
Okay, I get it. Story. I'm thinking like cartoon minstrel blackface, like big red clown mouth. That's what I was thinking. This guy he's just trying to set up black people. When somebody describes him, it's gonna be, it was a black guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh jeez. And last we'll complete out with comments. Roku states at least he wasn't in blackface, and he goes, beat me to it. Talking about GXDrifter's comments earlier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we are definitely at the end of the stream. We've been going on for quite some time. We try to keep it lower, but it happens. Mr. GXDrifter, thank you, sir, for being on. Yes, we could hopefully get you back on again for more episodes. But before we close out, why don't you tell the people where they could contact you, what projects you're currently working on, and anything else you may want to advertise on the show. Floor is yours.
You guys can catch GXDrifter at twitch.tv/GXDrifter. I stream sometimes. I teach art and sometimes draw and illustrate on the stream. Sometimes play some video games that I'm okay at. But the banter's always good. You're always going to get some good laughs and 90s hip hop. That is all.
Cool. Two Beers. Sir, go ahead, give your normal stuff for our new viewers.
All right. It's Two Beards, and my art brand is Saki. After watching that Fast and the Furious trailer, I no longer know what I do in this world anymore. I don't understand anything.
And be like that.
Yeah, you can check me out. Just look up Bitsaki anywhere and you can find me. Yeah.
Okay. I'm oh man, I am your other host, and I agree. That Fast Nitro is crazy, but you can find me multiple places. Mainly is Arn GM. Arn Games is Arn ARNGM. That is where you can find me on YouTube and on Twitch. If you want to get information on the show, for right now, it is ARN Games until we swap over to KNOE, KNOE. And then, as always, if you want to get back at me about white knighting, political views, or whatever, you can hit me up at Mobees on Twitter. And that's MOEBEES, Mobees. And folks, thank you everybody for coming out. It looks like Mega, I think, might be in his feelings, or he's asleep because he's an old man. But no white knighting. We made it through an episode of arguing with their people.
Nothing in the chat, guys.
Nothing in the chat.
I seriously thought he was going to show up.
Hey, well, maybe he'll show up later. But thank you, GXDrifter, for coming in. You were awesome. Thank you, Two Beers, for coming in. You're awesome. And I guess we could say this, right? Next week, Roku Die's coming back? Roku? Yes, no, maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. So we'll be back. We'll be back, hopefully.
He has some good jokes.
So remember, folks, as always, you can come and be part of the conversation every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time till when we close, which is usually about 12 a.m. And this episode hopefully will be up by Tuesday for those who want to catch the VOD, and we should have a preview by Sunday. Well, that's it. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.